Let me start with a sentence that would sound dramatic, but I don't think it is. Your attention is worth more than your money. Because if somebody can control what you pay attention to, they can shape what you believe is real. They can shape your mood, your fears, your politics, your desires, and your relationships. And that's why so many people feel anxious, they feel angry, exhausted, not because they're weak, but because they're being worked. And I'm not saying that in a conspiratorial way, I'm saying it in a business model way because distraction is not an accident. It's a product of an industry and it's a machine. And here's the most unsettling part, we're so used to it. We've started calling the symptoms our personality. I can't focus. I can't finish anything. I'm just an anxious person. I'm always tired. I'm always behind. But no, a lot of that isn't personality, it's pressure, it's the environment. And today, I want to talk about the attention crisis, what it's doing to our minds, our relationships, and our ability to commit to anything. And then I want to give you a practical way to fight back. Not by moving to a cabin in the woods, because quite frankly, if you really wanted to be alone and away from everybody, go stand in Times Square, in the middle of Times Square. Nobody will talk to you, everybody will leave you alone. But if you're in a cabin in the woods and somebody finds you, they're going to talk to you forever. And not by becoming weird, not by pretending technology is evil, but by becoming the kind of person who can still think clearly in a world designed to keep you foggy. Because here's my promise with this channel, I'm not here to farm outrage. I'm not here to scream at you. I'm not here to manipulate you. I'm here to help you see clearly. And if that's what you want, clarity without the shouting, you're in the right place. So let's talk about what's actually happening. We don't live in the information age anymore. We live in the attention economy. And the attention economy works like this. The product isn't the app. The product isn't the platform. The product is not the news. You're the product. Your attention is what's getting bought and sold. So every system is optimized for one thing, to keep you looking, you clicking, you reacting, and you coming back. And a lot of people hear that and they go, oh, yeah, okay, I get it. So what? So here's the so what. If you run in an economy that's on attention, you'll reward whatever hijacks attention the best. And what hijacks attention the best is not calm truth, not nuance, not wisdom. What hijacks attention best is fear, outrage, sex, shame, tribal conflict. In other words, the stuff that lights up your nervous system. So, whether it's politics, culture, relationships, masculinity, femininity, religion, it doesn't matter. The machine learns what makes him feel something fast, and it feeds you more of that. And this is why the internet feels like a room full of people screaming. Not because the world is ending every day, but because the business model is built on your adrenaline. Now, let me make this personal. Have you ever picked up your phone for one thing and then you look up and it's 40 minutes later and you didn't even choose what you saw? It just happened to you. That's not because you're uniquely undisciplined. That's because you're interacting with something designed by teams of experts who study human behavior for a living. So if you're losing that battle sometimes, that doesn't make you stupid. It makes you human. But you do have to wake up to what it's doing to you. Here's what the attention crisis is producing at scale. It's producing people who know a little bit about everything and understand almost nothing. It's producing people who feel informed but are actually emotionally manipulated. It's producing short fuses of low patience and low tolerance. It's producing a world where it's hard to sit still, hard to read, hard to pray, hard to talk, hard to listen, hard to be bored. And boredom is important because boredom is the doorway to deeper thought. If you can't be bored, you can't be deep. And I know some people will hear that and say, come on, it's not that serious. Okay, let's take a simple example. When was the last time you watched a movie without looking at your phone? And don't lie, because I do it too. The point isn't shame, the point is awareness. The fact that we need a second screen to make it through a story should tell us something. We're being trained out of sustained attention, and sustained attention is where wisdom lives, intimacy lives, craftsmanship lives, spiritual depth lives, real growth lives. If you can't stay with something, you can't build anything. Not a marriage, not a business, not a body, not a mind, not a life. So, yes, this is cultural because a culture is just shared habits. And right now, one of our biggest shared habits is constant stimulation. And constant stimulation creates constant distraction because your brain stops being impressed. So you need more extreme, more novel, more shocking, more sexual, more violent, more unbelievable. And eventually, ordinary life, it just feels dull. Your spouse feels dull. Your kids feel dull. Your jobs feel dull. Your church feels dull. Your own thoughts even feel dull. Not because they're dull, but because you've been living on fireworks. And when you live on fireworks, a candle feels pointless. Now that's a problem. Now let's talk about the outrage economy. Because outrage isn't just an emotion, outrage is a drug. It gives you energy, it gives you purpose, it gives you identity. It tells you, I know who the bad people are, and it feels good to feel right. But outrage has a hidden cost. Outrage turns you into a puppet because the moment your emotions are predictable, you're controllable. And the moment you're controllable, you're profitable. So the system doesn't need you to be wise, it needs you to be reactive. And when people live reactive, they stop being responsible. They become easier to steer, easy to divide, easy to sell. And here's where it gets sad. People are lonelier than ever, but they're constantly connected. They don't have community, they have audience. They don't have friendship, they have followers. They don't have real conversations, they have comment sections. And comment sections aren't conversations, they're cage matches. So we've got a culture full of people with high stimulation, low meaning, high opinion, low relationship, high connection, low intimacy. And we wonder why people are depressed. This isn't just about screens, it's about souls, not in a preachy way, in a human way. People are starving for substance, and the machine keeps feeding them cotton candy. Now, here's the part I want to say carefully, because I know how people feel. Some of you feel like, I can't get it together. I start things and I don't finish. I'm motivated for a day and then I crash. I can't stay consistent. Listen, it might be you, but it's not only you. You're trying to build a focused life instead of a culture that profits from your fragmentation. That's like trying to stay sober in a bar that gives out free drinks. So don't treat this like it's a minor issue. If you're constantly being distracted, you're staying constantly behind. and you'll start to believe the lie. I'm just not the kind of person who can change. Now, that's a lie. You can change, but you're going to need a strategy. So let me give you one. Not theory, not motivation, but a plan. Here are 7 rules to fight back against the attention economy. You don't have to do all of them perfectly, but if you do even a few consistently, your mind will start to clear. And when your mind clears, your life starts to move. Rule number 1, no phone in the first 30 minutes. I'm serious. First 30 minutes of your day, protect it. Because if the first thing you do is plug into the headlines, notification, and chaos, you're letting the world set your emotional temperature. So start your day with agency. Even if it's coffee and quiet, even if it's scripture, even if it's a simple journal line. What matters today? What do I need to face? What am I avoiding? Rule number 2, pick one primary input source. Right now, people are drowning in inputs. 5 news sources, 10 creators, 20 hot takes. Pick one primary source for news, 1 or 2 for commentary, and stop treating being informed like it's your job. Most people aren't informed. They're inflamed. Rule number 3 is turn off non-human notifications. If it's not a real person and it's not urgent, it doesn't get to interrupt your day. Your phone is not your boss. Your phone is a tool, so make it behave like a tool. Rule number 4, create one deep work block. 20 minutes. That's it. Set a timer, one task, no tabs, no bouncing. You're not trying to become a monk. You're trying to retain your attention span. Attention is a muscle, and right now most of us are walking around with attention atrophied. So train it. Rule number 5, put friction between you and your addictions. If your problem is apps, delete them and use the browser. If your problem is late night scrolling, charge your phone outside the bedroom. If your problem is constant checking, put the phone in another room while you work. We don't rise to the level of our intentions. We fall to the level of our systems. So build systems. Rule number 6 is replace cheap dopamine with earned dopamine. Cheap dopamine is easy. Scroll, snack, corn, shopping, outrage. Earned dopamine is better. Walk, lift, build, create, clean, serve, and yes, it feels slower at first, but it actually restores your soul. Because earned dopamine comes with self-respect. Cheap dopamine comes with fog. Rule number 7, end your day like a grown man. Let your mind calm down. 10 minutes, no screens. Ask, what did I do well today? Where did I drift? What am I avoiding? What do I need to do tomorrow? That practice alone will put steel back in your spine over time. Now listen, these rules are not productivity hacks. This is how you reclaim your life. Because if you can't control your attention, you can't control your direction. And if you can't control your direction, somebody else will. Let me land this. A distracted person is easy to manipulate. A focused person is hard to control. And I don't mean control in a paranoid way. I mean control like this. If you can sit with your own thoughts, you'll borrow everyone else's. If you can't tell the truth about yourself, you'll escape into the noise. If you can't handle discomfort, you're going to become addicted to comfort. And comfort is a terrible god. It promises relief and delivers slavery. So yeah, this is cultural commentary because we are watching literally a culture trade depth for dopamine. Trade meaning for stimulation. Trade conviction for control. And then we wonder why people feel empty. We're not made for constant noise. We're made for purpose. We're made for relationships. We're made for truth. And the good news is you can start turning this around today by becoming intentional. So let me ask you something, and I want you to answer it in the comments because I actually read them. Where do you feel the attention crisis hitting you the hardest? Is it your focus, your marriage, your anxiety, your sleep, your ability to be consistent? One sentence. Just tell the truth, because naming it is the first step to changing it. If you want more videos like this, straight talk, cultural clarity, practical steps, subscribe. Not because I'm trying to grow a channel, but because we're building a corner of the internet that isn't insane. A place where we can think and breathe and tell the truth without the shouting. Before I go, I just want to say a few more things. I struggle with everything that we're talking about here myself. And I watch other people struggle in recovery, in life, everywhere. So it's not that I'm giving you advice that I don't struggle with following, that I don't also need to do. I don't want you to think that I have this perfect master plan that I'm doing myself. The difference is that I know the things that I've talked about in this video are things that if I do them, they are going to change my life. And I know if you do them, they will help change your life as well. So I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching if you made it this far, and have a blessed day.